morning. Thank you for tapping in for some real talk from the heart, a daily devotion through the Bible. And our devotion this morning is from Psalm 89, verse 33. And this is the section where it's reviewing some history and God has given some instructions, of course, through the Psalms about the kings. And it picks up actually in verse 30 talking about the sons, right, the kings. And so this verse applies to God's faithfulness to those anointed ones, those that are anointed kings. But man, I found myself really encouraged this morning in reading it and just owning it for myself this morning. So let me read the verse, and I hope you're encouraged by it as well. Psalm 89, verse 33, it says, "Nevertheless, my loving kindness I will not utterly take from him, nor allow my faithfulness to fail." This morning I want to talk to you about unfailable faithfulness. Now, I just had a conversation with my wife, and I said, according to the dictionary, there is not a word unfailable. It's infallible or unfailing or whatever. And I was like, man, they can't tell me what's not a word. So I'm going with unfailable. God's faithfulness cannot fail. Why? Because God himself cannot fail. And so listen, this is what encouraged me this morning, man, is that the Lord, as it says here, nevertheless, my loving kindness. The word loving kindness, again, is the Hebrew word chesed, which means unfailing love, faithful love. It means covenant love. God says, my loving kindness, my mercy is another rendering of the word. He says, I will not utterly take from him. The Lord does not take back. The Lord does not take back his loyal love from his people. He does not. He does not take that loyal love back from his people. And then it says this, nor allow my faithfulness to fail. Man, even though we fail him, even though you and I fail God from time to time, he never allows his faithfulness to fail. He remains faithful still. And unfortunately in this life, there are going to be people who will, and maybe who even have, taken their love back from us, right? Taken their love away from us, taken it back from us. But the Lord never will. Unfortunately in this life, there will be people whose faithfulness will fail us. But the Lord's faithfulness never will. And so I want to encourage you with something this morning. This is what came to my heart this morning. Is instead of meditating on the love and faithfulness of people that has failed us, why not instead meditate on the Lord's loving kindness, meditate on the Lord's faithfulness, listen, that'll never fail us. Why not meditate on that instead? Why not give our hearts and minds over to that instead? Because listen, if we give our hearts and minds to the unfailing, unfailable faithfulness of God, the loving kindness, the loyal loving kindness of God, man, we are going to be better off, mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. And we're going to be inspired and empowered to live faithful to the one whose faithfulness cannot fail us. We're going to be inspired and empowered to live faithful to the one whose love will never be taken from us. Again, why meditate, right, on all these other things, right, all these other failures of men? It's only going to depress us and distress us. But man, listen, God's love is never going to fail. God's not going to take his loving kindness back from his sons and daughters. God's not going to allow his faithfulness to his sons and daughters to fail. Man, I hope that encourages you this morning, because man, it encouraged me. Because I know I fall short so many times in so many ways. And yet, there he is still. Man, the Lord loves you. I love you too. I'm praying for you. I hope you're praying for me too, man. I hope you'll have a great, great Tuesday. Make sure you're spending quality time every day in God's word. Living at attention. And stay intimate. Live as close as possible to the Lord, man. Cut out the distractions. and just focus on his unfailing faithfulness, his unfailing love. All right. God bless y'all. Have a good one.